Going on, guys? It's Friday morning. Today is the day that I'm going to be attempting to install my high output alternator in my Honda Civic. So yeah, this bad bitch. It's a Singer Alternator. Came in the mail on Wednesday. So I've been just doing some prep work so that this install goes a little smoother than goes a little smoother. Gonna be installing some 1/0 to the positive pin, as well as probably 2 grounded out. So yeah, clearly I need to wake up a little bit more, but it shouldn't be, I say it shouldn't be a big deal, but it's a big deal to a degree. I mean, it's not an engine swap, but where the alternator is really tight, and I don't have like a jack or anything like that, so I can't take the wheel off to make it any easier. Basically, I'm just gonna have to like fish everything out of the top. But the only good thing is that the alternator that's in there has been replaced pretty recently, so we shouldn't have any seized up bolts. It's been a couple months, but that's better than 10 years. So yeah, once we're down there, I'll cut you back on. Alright, so got the old alternator out. You can see two all the new alternators in there.
I don't know why. That's the sun's saying after full Uncle Mike.
So now I'm just putting a little booty on for the positive terminal so that it doesn't actually accidentally get shorted out or anything. We're gonna put some heat shrink on it to keep it on. Obviously, this is a 0 gauge, new concepts. So I had to modify the bracket for the alternator a little bit. Had to just sand down one of the mounting points, but it looks like everything's gonna go pretty well. I hate to count my chickens before they cross the road, but it's looking pretty good, so I'll cut you back on. What's going on, guys? Been working all damn day on this alternator swap. I pretty much had everything good to go. As you can see, got the new 1/0 going from the positive pin. Got the voltage regulator hooked up. Everything is in place and whatnot. I gotta tidy up this wiring and put a fuse on that bitch, but yeah, so I'm trying to get this belt to stop squealing because I don't know, I can't drive around like that. Otherwise it's working. I'm getting 14.4 volts. So that means the alternator works. So I don't know. I guess just keep at it. And I'll come up with the damn update. It's Friday. Little update and whatnot. I got the high output alternator in. It's kind of a bitch. You know, that's to be expected with, you know, custom parts, but I actually have the old alternator here that I can kind of demonstrate with, but this is like the main, you know, stable bracket that goes into the engine. Well, there was a little nub on this side right here that I had to file down to be able to get it into the bracket. That's kind of like it swings out, that's how it tensions. So that one was fine. I also had to I'll show you, messed with some things with the harness. Yeah, I ended up getting everything in, but the belt, it was like pushed all the way out, and I could just get the belt to be like kind of stiff, so the belt was too loose, so I had to go find a different belt, because as you can see, this pulley is pretty big compared to the other one. The other one's probably the size of that inner hole, and not the nut, but you know, yeah. So yeah, it's doing good. It's in there pretty good. But today what I want to do is I want to clean up some of the wiring. The positive alternator wire, it's in an okay spot, but I don't like the way it looks. I want to clean it up a little bit. I just kind of like slapped, you know, the 0 gauge grounds on there. I didn't really clean them or anything, so I want to clean up my grounding points, and also you know, clear coat them so that they don't rust, because we're in New York and there's salt everywhere. But anyway, oh, and the last thing is I have a Optima red top battery in the engine bay. It's like the stock battery is a Group 51. It was like a Delco or something like that. So, you know, I wanted something with a little bit more juice, so I didn't have to worry about you know, being so paranoid about playing music with the engine off. I don't do that much anyway, but there's been times where with that other battery, you know, I listen to music on a, you know, moderate volume for like 20 minutes, and next thing I know, I go to try to start the engine and I'm like, what the fuck? It won't start. So that should give me a little bit more wiggle room. Wiggle room. Oh, so the point of that is I had to like kind of wedge that battery in there, and it's not, when I go over bumps I can hear it kind of like thoof, like kind of like the spare tire, and you know, that's not good. So I want to kind of like secure that up a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to say, oh, I want to make a custom bracket for it, but I don't have the tools or the means for that right now. So probably just going to, I don't know, make some sort of like battery holder or battery tray. Alright, well, I will put you back on when I'm downstairs. And yeah, one thing I gotta say is I really give props to people who like do projects and are able to document them by themselves. That shit is like, I can't do that. Like, I try. I'm getting a little bit better, but it's like I get so in the moment. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if people want to see this shit, you know. But you know, that's not rational thinking. So yeah, I'll be down there pretty soon, and hopefully I'll remember to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so this is pretty much the aftermath. The Singer Alternator in there. This is a 7th gen Civic. Have a Optima 34 red top. As you can see, this is my amp wire. This is the alternator wire. It comes along here, goes down into the alternator, high output alternator, which is right here. Upgraded grounds to 0 gauge. They were 4 gauge, but you know, you just gotta, you're running almost 200 amps, you gotta step it up. It's a 180 amp alternator. I had to do some modifying to get this battery to fit where it is, as well as get that alternator in. It's not the prettiest wiring, but you know, I'll figure something out. I wanted to run it through here, out and over, or under and over, but there's not enough room in here. And yeah, I wanted to be able to get to, you know, my oil and the dipstick and everything like that, so wasn't a lot of options on where to put that thing. But yeah, she's running good. And now that we got some decent amperage going, next step will be getting a decent monoblock. Right now I have a R500 1XD, which does about 600 watts RMS. Putting that to the Alpine Type R, but she's still hungry, so thinking about getting at least 1200 watts RMS in a monoblock, maybe 15, maybe 18, but I don't know, I'd say I'm thinking about getting a 1200 watt monoblock, and then doing 600 watts RMS to two JL W6s in a ported box. So yeah, I'm just gonna be tightening up some things around here, but overall, yeah, there were, I forget if I mentioned in the previous parts, but there were some things I had to do to get this alternator to work in here. I had to grind down the mounting bracket a little bit, and then of course the stock belt was too long, so I had to get a smaller belt. It worked, but it was squealing like a pig. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I'll keep you updated on how the Singer Alternator does. So far, we're getting 14.4 at the battery. One thing I'm not sure about is, I know about, or I've heard that these cars have an ELD that turns the voltage down to 2.8, you know, when there's no load detected. I haven't noticed it with this, and I'm wondering, is it because I ran it straight to the battery, or does that plug in there, does the ELD tell the plug and it happens regardless? I'm not sure. So if that is happening, I'm gonna have to do some sort of ELD bypass, which there's a guide up on the forums, so shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, that's about it.